Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back. So we're going to make the oops. Hello, welcome or welcome back. I started talking, it was not recording. So we're going to make the most of the next couple hours before I go out. And I just want to have fun today. I really just want to have fun. So basically, we're just going to see what happens. Okay, let's be spontaneous. Yes, sometimes you need to follow the plan, but sometimes you also need to just go with the flow. So basically, what's gonna happen is that I have here a list of all the future readings that I wanted to do. Okay, so I'm going to chant a little Italian children chant to select, basically. I don't know. I think that every culture has those. Where instead of counting, you sing a little song, and then when the song finishes, it's like that's your selected point, okay? Disclaimer. This is something that I learned when I was a kid, okay? So I release all responsibilities surrounding the meaning. I actually started reflecting upon it just as an adult, so... Okay, wait. Okay, so it talks about the daughter of a doctor who makes love with a bunch of owls. So I don't really know what Italian people were on back then, um, but that's the song. Okay, so I'm just going to do like to tap the to tap the page, and wherever I land, I land. Okay, I'm going to try and not look. It's just that there's a central figure. There's a spiritual being that I doodled. This is, yeah, when you use your grimoire to track your work, that can happen. I used to do it as a kid as well. Then a bunch of kids destroyed my stuff. And it was peculiar because the teachers didn't do much. I mean, I remember being the cause of quite a big shenanigans when I was like a preteen or something, that brought to a bunch of teachers sitting the at least 20 people down, and okay, we're going to talk like in a civilized way. And then, of course, like I understood that I brought it a little bit too far. I was very young and a little bit reckless. But yeah, it. I was thinking about it and reflecting about how sometimes things like the same thing within a same system can just go through, and nothing happens, and then when it's done by someone else or somewhere else, it gets condemned really hard. On a good note, the kids who destroyed my painting and grimoire material probably ended up marrying some sport guy and getting cheated on like their mom. So I actually consider myself lucky for having been called out on my bullshit, because yes, it was uncomfortable, but at the same time, it was a very strong learning experience about, okay, you get to have like hard emotions, you get to get angry, but you need to be able to put your own limits, because sometimes you know, you just hurt other people's feelings and it's not okay, and yada yada, and you know, it gave me a level of maturity that I didn't see in other adults after that experience. Of like, at some point I stopped being 13 years old, and I brought, of course, the teachings from that experience, and I also had the chance to be faced with energies who visibly weren't taught this. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay, so let's get started and let's define the title of this reading. Ambarava Cicicocò, tre civette sul comò che facevano l'amore con la figlia del dottore. Il dottore si ammalò, ambarava Cicicocò. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Okay. I was just rambling. But okay, I need to okay. I need to put this down and not make a mess. I will not move. Okay. Can you see this? Okay. I'm so clumsy. Is this one? What did you subconsciously learned, and it's haunting you now? So we are going to dig into the past. That's for sure. Now, let's do the group selection. All right. So, oops. All right, so if you skip the intro, I'm just going to refresh a bit the info. I defined the title of the reading. Just one, please. I feel like the deck is trembling. I defined the title of the reading during the intro. Okay, so I used the no, clearer, please. I used my personal list of upcoming readings and just chanted a little thing. Became a little bit shadowy when it came to reminiscing my past, and here we are. Okay, so each and every group are all the cards. Yeah, I think everything's fine. Each and every group will have one runes cards to choose from to do the group selection, and I'm going to show the cards. Okay, this is going to be my new method. I'm really pleased with it. Group number 1 has Leda. Group number 2 has Delfinos. Group number 3 has Oxylos. So we're going to see what's going to happen. See you at your group. All right, group number 1, you chose Leda. So I'm still shuffling, but I already have some potential messages for you because when I look at, okay, yeah, I see what this is about. So there is something with the role of chaos in your life. Like Leda talks about the capacity or the fact sometimes, simply the fact, not even the capacity, just sometimes things happen, okay, and it's something definitive, it's something that remains solid, but in that case, it's something that happened while the protagonist, one of the protagonists, or at least like the key protagonist, at some point was in a state of heavy confusion. Okay, they were not feeling themselves. And yeah, I see that you have a hard time trusting your intuition. Like you kind of have to go the extra mile in order to be in your flow, be in your zone of comfort, could also be about comfortable in your skin, comfortable in your body, comfortable in the way you communicate, feeling like you can just follow a flow, follow a rhythm. And I see why, basically. Okay, we're going to see why. I'm just going to pull out. Yes, I like that. Okay, you are way more magical than what you give yourself credit for. And at the same time, I see that it's low-key not your fault. Like it's fair in some shape or form that you have this painful unawareness or this painful detachment towards your own self. And so what I see here is that there was something that happened in your past that you kept a secret about. You never talked about it. You never talked to the person who was responsible for what was happening about it. You were never honest about how painful the experience was for you. You never could, likely. But there was someone in your dark zone. And what I mean by this, it's your private area. Like in your family, this could have been a father figure, an uncle that you spent a lot of time with, but it was an authority figure that for some reason had a lot of access to you and to your private time. Basically, where like this person had access to you in places and situations where you were hidden from the rest of the world. So this person imposed their presence in gray or dark areas of your life. We're going to see that this is also now reflecting in your brain, that should have belonged to you, or that should have, like, this person should have been the monster guarding the door, but unfortunately when the door was locked, or when the door was closed, this person was the monster behind the door. Okay, this person missed out on their opportunity to be a fair gatekeeper, to be a protector, a wise and fair protector. This was someone who was, let me see if it stops. It doesn't. Oh, it stopped. This was someone who was way more concerned with asserting their power rather than bringing justice to the situation. Basically, even if you were to do everything right, this person would still find ways to outweigh the scale in their favor, even if it didn't make any sense. Okay, like this person could have asked you, oh, could you, I don't know, do the dishes for me? And so day one you do the dishes and you forgot one piece of whatever, and this person this person would completely lose their shit about that minor mistake. So of course the next day you try and correct that, but the next day once you finish doing the dishes, this person is like, oh, but you didn't even bring me this, or but you didn't even resolve that other issue that I didn't even tell you about. Okay, and because you were never left with the space, like I see this person also being very intrusive. This person absolutely wanting you to conform to their ways. It's like, yeah, I mean, I'm doing it for you, I'm doing it for your good, and it's not. Okay, this person was destroying your brain, but because this was happening behind closed doors, and probably when you were very young, so you didn't even have the perspective, the adult and mature perspective, to see that this person was a coward in a cape, because this person would have never pulled this type of behavior with actual witnesses from the outside. Okay, this is something that they were only able to do because you were in a vulnerable position compared to them, like the definition of a coward. Okay, so what happens in this type of scenario is that you do not develop well the capacity to make your own decisions. Because at some point, this abusive presence, this overpowering presence becomes a second brain for you, a secondary, third, like depending on, yeah. But okay, we're going to focus on one issue at a time, and this particular issue here is something that would leave you radically discouraged when it comes to taking your own decision. It's like, if I do it well, I'm being punished. If I do wrong, I'm being punished. So I'm just going to avoid thinking. I'm just going to take orders. I'm just going to go with the flow. So you do have likely an unconscious enhanced capacity to go with the flow. Okay, like as adults, like growing up, as you take the time to get to know yourself, this is something that you can see as an upper leg, but you need to work it well, because yes, life, if you choose to have an adventurous life, if you choose to actually unlock this capacity of yours and be real about what you want to pursue, you are going to have to go with the flow, but it's going to be the flow of your own decision. While if you do not do this type of shadow work, you are kind of bound, okay? You are kind of chained, spellbound. You know, we can talk about generational curses here. To always go with other people's flow. Okay, you are always in a state of weight and in denial when it comes to your own responsibility as well. It's like, no, I only did this because they did this, you know, or they told me to do this, or I understood this, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous because this can mean that people can literally steal the power over your thinking process. You are beyond vulnerable towards theft. It can be intellectual, it can be energetical, it can be practical. But basically, it's like you are programmed to follow other people's expectations of you, even and especially if those expectations are completely from the moon. Okay? You might also have a tendency to select partners who have this energy, and it's going to continue going like that until you choose to be honest about yourself. Now, how can you work on this? There's an advice here about the need to go progressively, but there's also a message about trial and error. Okay, like it's not going to be overnight, because there's a work of retrieving a voice within you that has been suppressed violently, basically. So you might also have had to face moments where the situations get so bad where you kind of don't have the choice but to listen to your own intuition. Like, you cannot just use the practicalities of what was going on in order to inform your decision. Because I have expect a surprise, and I have pay attention to the synchronicities. So, after that, I also have watch out for haters, cons, professional, stupid people, and this is an enemy, treat them accordingly. tell the truth. I see that your job is to move with between the present and the past, but there is also the element truth as your healing sword. Okay, sorry. Where first and foremost you kind of need to find a space or a situation or something, an occasion. um, it's funny because this card gives me like distorted authority figure. Okay, so and I was getting like father figure or masculine energy, caretaker, and it's almost Father's Day. So you might want to find an occasion where you tell the truth about what was going on with this person, basically, to yourself first and foremost, and you need to get to a point where you are very clear. I don't know if this is getting caught by the microphone, but yeah, let me just. But it can also be a blog, it can be a forum. I leave the comment section of this space open also to dump those kind of informations. And then there is also a work on your present where the same energy is kind of being brought back into your life. And those are synchronicities, okay? Those are energetic signaling telling you, okay, it's about damn time. It's time to work on the issue again. It's time to practice through truth again. And it is going to be a tedious work of no thank you, basically, until you shed this incapacity to be honest with yourself about what you want, how you want to do it, and also giving yourself space and grace to make mistakes. When you first enter something, I see this person being very strong, very prepared, but also kind of bowing down, like, okay. Humility can simply, like, can be self-serving in the sense that it can simply make you porous, in a better disposition to absorb stuff that you might not be acquainted with. So I see that your healing is something that is going to be like, oh, okay, you're going to have to work on these shadows in the dark for quite some time, basically. You're not going to just be able to pop up of your dark waters after one time, but it's because we're talking about ancient healing. Ancient can be generational, intergenerational, but from a personal point of view, ancient in terms of this happened when you were young as fuck. So in scientific terms, this means that you now have crystallized and solidified neural pathways that still function following that logic, still waiting for the green light from the outside, still unable to fully defend your truth, because any time where someone comes in and tries to steal your peace, you give that to them. Okay, like you stopped fighting for that a long time ago. You managed to kind of find peace in that hell that person was creating for you by simply turning your own personal judgment off. Now you're struggling because growing up you kind of need your judgment. So I do see, because you chose the card Leda, that you are trying to reconnect with yourself. You are trying, but You also need to be honest about the destructiveness of certain practices that you maintain in order to put yourself in that type of state. You should be able, like in a healthy state, you should be able to take those kind of decisions while calm. Okay? Like you should be able to just sit down with yourself and trust that you are going to come up with at least options of decisions without trashing your nervous system over and over again. Like you are able to produce the magic without entering dangerous zones, basically, or putting yourself in danger. There's also that you might have become accustomed to danger because of this past situation, to the point where you are kind of desensitized towards your own actions, basically. Like you don't really see, because you act based on a logic of necessity. You know that you need to take some certain decisions, you know that it's tough for you, you know that it becomes less tough when you take certain substances, you party, you give access to you to just anybody. Like it can depend, okay? But whatever it is that allows you to unleash control is also eating you, is also devouring you, and it's all due to this early experience that you had. And so it's time to let it out. It's time to start acknowledging, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I will not be okay either if I continue like this. I am aware of what I am trying to fix. I am also aware that I am lacking the next step in order to fix it properly. And I am also aware that now that I can see with the eyes of an adult, that adult in particular was a piece of shit. So it's about them time that they know. It's about them time that whoever was involved in the situation know, and it at least faced with the choice, okay, will I take responsibility of what I let happen as an adult or not? But they have to be faced with the just information, with the fair and just information. You are owed that. So I don't see that coming from this person. The universe is bringing you that awareness by triggering you over and over again. Like, are you okay with that? Are you really okay with that? Do you really like that? Do you really feel okay with that? Do you really until you kind of go, no, I hate this. I fucking hate this. I feel like I'm trapped in an eternal cycle of hell. I'm tired. I want to rest. And I want to be able to say no. I want to be able to say to these people, fuck you. I want, and mean it. You don't go and say fuck you to the next person just because you think that this entity, this energy would have find them despicable, and therefore you need to separate yourself from, because what if they pop up in your life again? And you might also catch yourself having unrealistic anxieties towards this energy. Like this person could not be an actual part of your life, or they might simply not have the same level of power. But it's like the young elephant. Once you tie the young elephant to the tree as a baby, the young elephant develops this, you can call it knowledge, you can call it illusion, of not being able to escape. So once the little elephant grows up, more often than not, they're not going to escape. it's still the same tree. They're 3, 4, sometimes 5 times as big, like bigger than what they were as babies. But they tried so many times, like all together during their first years, that they just came to the logical and mathematical conclusion it doesn't work. And so, in order to still have a decent life, what can you do? Then I'm going to make a life here. I'm going to make the most here. I'm going to find ways to soothe my stress by laying against the tree, or scratching my back against the tree, or hurting myself a little bit against the tree. No, it doesn't set me free, but it takes my mind somewhere else. And yeah, so you kind of have all of that to hurt. That was pain. That's pain. That's pain that is likely stuck somewhere in your body, somewhere in your brain. It's both, because okay, what time is it? Do I have the time to talk about neural maps? Quickly. So the brain is made of several areas. They have different responsibilities, okay? So the interesting thing is that each and every area also has its correspondence in the nervous system, therefore in each and every area of the body. It means if you have a dark spot in here, you probably also have a dark spot in here, here, whatever. It's kind of important to heal that. Okay? Take the time to do so. I'm just trying to think. No, there are other videos that you can use as support. If you have specific questions, you can leave a comment down below. See you soon. Alright, group number 2, you have Delfinos, and I'm getting like the dark mother stereotype. Not stereotype, sorry. Archetype, the dark mother archetype. Can be seen as a stereotype as well, depending on the perspective and the point of view, I suppose. So I say this. All right. This is pretty straightforward. So you are either running or aggressively healing from either a mother figure or a feminine presence that was overpowering and had a strong importance in your early life. So let's say, even if this was not your mother, this could have been an aunt, a babysitter, or grandmother, mother-in-law, stepmother, older sister as well, that was very controlling. And that was kinda in this illusion or fantasy. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting the, what's her name from Marvel? But I don't really know the story, okay? So it's just about what she creates, magically speaking, what I understood. I mean, in that, no, in that case it's different, because she was actually successful. And she didn't bring, as far as I understand, like real people into that. But in this case, it's like this person wanted to have their fantasy, their dream life. And so this person would, let's say, would wake up, and they had a very specific way of how the day was supposed to go. But it was according to this specific fantasy of abundance. Like this person would see themselves as like this regal thing, this princess, this queen, And this is why they had inexplicable or very extravagant behaviors. Like this person could have been could have expected people to just serve them like breakfast in bed, or just shower them with gifts. So this person could have guilt tripped you into making you feel like you had to provide for them, like you had to be their source of richness, because this person, as I was saying, this person was very clear about the type of things, about the type of ambiances, about the type of environments that they wanted to be, they either wanted to have or be a part of, and they expected just everybody else to work hard for them and provide that. But this is unhealthy. Okay, so I see this person making, okay, this could have been a sick child in their family and making other people sick. Okay, wait. Okay, it's still very noisy outside, but I'm going to try and hold the microphone because I have messages coming through quite fast. So I see that this person's madness was layered in the sense where they would not admit, not even to themselves, but like not to a single soul, that their expectations towards life were that. So this person might have actually tried to portray themselves as something else. This person might have lacked the capacity to admit, okay, I'm doing this because of this and this and that. Actually, they would say stuff. Yo, yeah, no, I don't need much. I'm a very humble person. I don't care about titles and monies and yada yada. But the reality of the things is that they were not willing to go after that, to defend that, to work for that, to try and marry into that if that was their thing. Or for others of you, this was a mother who would just marry for money or for fame, for titles and recognition, and she would force you to make sure that she would always look flawless or that the marriage would continuously work, like even if you didn't have the power to do anything. Like this mother figure was the type of, if anything was not okay within their marriage, they would like run and crawl towards you. It's your fault, it's because you don't clean your mess, it's because you don't clean your room, it's because you are a bad person, because you are this and this and that. And so I see this person making you physically sick. And as I was saying, this could have also been a sick child in their youth, in the sense where they might have grown up in a dysfunctional family and they would only get attention once, like when they would get sick. And sometimes people just lack the mental capacity to like see the future, and their brain actually rationalizes that. Like their need for affection is such that they are willing to kind of put themselves in that kind of state, because what they perceive family wise is greater peace. Oh, okay, if I'm like this, then things work more or less how I would want them to work. Okay, like people are attending to my needs and being listened to. And unfortunately, this generates a highly non-functional adult. Okay, like this person was always thinking of themselves as someone sick, always thinking of themselves as someone who needed the extra attention. Of course, resulting in you being deprived. Okay, you being deprived of the basics, and this person denying, like holding for their dear life to their fake narrative. No, I'm not like that, but also at the same time demanding that type of treatment. It's with either one or the other, sweetie. Okay. So I see you kind of taking a leap of faith away from this person, and it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you money. It's gonna cost you energy. It's gonna cost you opportunities, but it's going to give you more. It is going to give you just as much. It's just a matter of, like, the journey is going to be long, but you need to have faith in the fact that it is going to be returned to you. Work hard for this. It is worthy. I don't think that there's much to add. I also have, don't do this alone. Ask for help. You are going to need therapy. You are going to need therapy. You are going to uh, be confronted with a different type of authoritative female energy. You are going to have to go out into the world and seek for coherence. I do see you also being challenged a little bit on your journey. This is a chance for you to heal. This is a chance for you to remember the discomfort that you went through with this figure, with this authority figure, very likely, as I was saying, a female, who wanted to keep you trapped in their own fake kingdom. Yeah, okay, I'm getting a very specific message. This person kind of, in their brain, they see themselves as a king dominator, but they were just a king bottom feeder, okay? Like, this person would see an ounce of power within a potential partner, and they would try and become everything that that person wanted, even if they didn't know shit, okay? This person this person has no drive, no passion of their own, so of course people would just come and go from their life. This person is shallow as fuck, but they want to have this narrative about them. Oh no, I am like this, deep and soulful and dense person. I don't really care. Okay, but can you pass me that? Okay, but can you do me my hair? Okay, but can you buy me a new clothes? Like, shut up. Get out. Okay, I see that it's going to become so bad because this person is not changing, okay? As long as this person is fed, this is like a worm, okay? You put stuff and they shit just as much, if not more. Everything that gets poured into them, it gets expelled, and there they are back again, asking and demanding for more. This person is relentless and scary. I used to be very passionate about The Witch. It was an Italian comic, like anime type, and it was a whole sensation when I was a child, and to the point where I would, like, I finished the whole series and then I would go and dig to try and find the limited editions, and there was one specific limited edition where the witch club, and like it was a bunch of young witches. So yeah, it was really entertaining, but there was this one special edition in particular where they end up in a parallel dimension and there's a monster that they have to face. Now, the particularity of this monster, it's that it's a giant worm. So I remember reading about this and I was like, walk all over the thing, you know? It's a worm. But it was really scary because at the same time it was a giant thing. It was just concerned with eating everything that was on its path, like houses, nature. I remember there was one of the witches, the kingdom had been deprived of magic, so she manifests, sorry. She makes appear she makes appear a peach, and everybody's like, oh my god, how did you do that? Because the monster was even making the earth infertile. Like, it's their energy is so negative, their energy is so desperate that they are bound to destroy and to suck dry everything that they come in contact with. And it's brainless. And that is also scary, okay? It's zombie-like. You put it to sleep, and the next day it's back again. Being a pain in the ass again. But it's a dangerous type of pain in the ass. And the next day again and again, it's brainless. It needs to be sprayed down like a pest. So I see you kind of finding your way out through work. Okay? You're going to have to work hard to put yourself in a position of total independence, basically. Like, yeah, I was going to say that you are either going to work hard and fight for a position in a very good company, okay? You are going to have the protection of someone who is in control of their stuff for like a decade or so. And sorry, I'm just going to close this. Or I see that some of you are going to become the expert. You are going to become this unicorn, the white tiger, breaking the spell and kind of flying away from the evil queen. Cleanse, purge, remove. As I said, this is going to be a progression. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to just walk away, because I see this person's energy being really dense within you. So really having to purge a lot from your physical body before you can get back in your strength. This is going to make this person appear even more scary. Like, they are relentless. And the scariest part is that they know what they're doing, but they have an inner dialogue that is so fucked up that it just gets them back to the self-reactivation point each and every morning. Like, what else can I do to stay this? They want to stay that, okay? That's the only thing that they perceive as... what time is it, by the way? Okay. As... attainable happiness. I see this person kind of trying to mimic this behavior. This is something that can really help you see how fucked up they are. Basically, this person might have told you, oh, I admire this, I like this, because they are so and so. And so this person does have how can I say, like, godlified people, like, but it's weird because this person does not really admire these people if they were to actually meet. But it's like, okay, these people that I'm seeing, they get treated according to their perception, the way they want to be treated. And it could be 5 different people. And so this person might have tried to be seen as 5 different people. But if someone were to just say, oh yeah, I like people number 3 more, this person would be like, oh yeah, fuck all the other 4. This person has no north. Whatever it is that they can spit on, destroy, just to make themselves look a certain way. And it's something that it's bound to come out, because if you start questioning this type of energy, like, this energy can only work within things that are not constant. If someone start being constant with this energy would crumble. They would run out of answers. They would just play mute. They would just look away. They would try and hide. They would try and move to, I don't know, move the conversation. And if brought back, they would just avoid. And it's because of this obsession that they have with maintaining a certain type of lifestyle that simply does not exist. Like, it's cruel. It's cruel at on some level to think that this person had to become this monster, basically. It's like, well, their brain was developing at some point. They hit some certain type of walls, and they stay there in the worst possible way. They draw certain conclusions, and they build a map around where they were going, what they had to remain attached to. This is also important. What they felt like they had to remain attached to in terms of behaviors, in terms of benefits, in terms of compromising themselves. And it was all wrong. And it was all wrong. And it came to a point where, or it will come to a point where it's just too big. Like they absorbed too much. They took too much. And I don't really see this person admitting it, though. I see this person, when confronted, actually trying to be even a bigger worm and trying to gobble and beg for more, basically. It's like, no, you cannot leave me like this, okay? Like, if you were to start something completely new away from this person would be like, no, how dare you not giving that to me? Okay? Even if they didn't work, even if they were busy behind the scenes trying to steal from everybody else around them, now they want to be a part of your life again. And this is basically, when the narcissist hovers and stalks, that's the time where you discard. That's the time where you point the finger. First and foremost, where the fuck were you? Secondly, you really want to address receipts. Explain this, and this. And the whole rest of the list. Please. I'm listening. Okay. All right, thank you, group number 2. Yeah, I think that's all for you today. If you want to leave a comment, feel free to do so. The space is open, and it can help other people too. See you soon. Group number 3, you chose Oxylos. I have your first card. Sorry. Your first card already, Orion. So I see that there is a theme with you about being I don't want to say redirected, but at the same time I have this in this position, so I guess that's the case. There are 2 main layers to explain this. Let's stick with the facts first. You have experienced strong moments of adversity, backstabbing, betrayal, people trying to put an end to your glory. Like, each and every time where you try to compete for something, perhaps you used to do competitive sports as a child, or you were in like theater, music, dance type of activities. Oh, I'm done with this. And perhaps it happened once for some of you, and it was very violent. I see someone's leg being compromised before a race or a game, someone's instruments being damaged. Like you have experienced very mean and cruel acts, very likely from the part of your peers, or at least people that you thought that you shouldn't have to watch your back from. Okay, perhaps you were in this logic, we're all kids, we're all just doing our thing, like what the fuck. What are you doing? So I have good and bad news for you. The good news is that you have a very defined and special and specific path. You have a very specific type of recognition that is divinely, energetically, cosmically owed to you, just because of the way you are, just because of the way you are able to deal with certain energy. And this is why this energy that is coming up like gigantically in your reading is being presented to you over and over again. Your recognition, your victory is on the other side of betrayal, is on the other side of bullying and abuse, is on the other side of rejection, is on the other side of people coming your way just to try and mislead you or make you feel like you should break your commitments towards your own quest. Okay, people constantly putting you at a crossroad where you always have to be able to choose yourself over and over again. And it can be a tedious and also difficult work where you always have to choose between, okay, I choose to remain peaceful or I choose to embrace my weapons, knowing that I will have to be the one fighting for myself. So I see that it's your journey. Like at some point, I have pay attention to the synchronicities. As you do the practical work, you will understand the delay. So pay attention to the synchronicities. This tells that there is there is either a certain experience or a certain set of experiences that happened in your early life when either the people who were supposed to support you would backstab you right when you were about to complete or accomplish something, or the very same people that you were running the race with would act in a fraudulent way towards you, okay? Would try and set you up for failure, try and damage your equipment, try and steal from you, like whatever, okay? It will be different for each and every case, but you got the main message. And so I see you trying to heal from that, and at the same time also kind of having to face harsh rejection over and over again. And this is where the double work lays, where you take the time to use present or like adult rejections to heal the feelings, to heal the unworthiness feelings that you harbored as a younger person. And at the same time, you also start embodying this consciousness that all this work is doing something. Okay, all of this that is happening in the shadows, all these interactions are doing something. They are pushing you somewhere. They are forcing you to question certain stuff. They are forcing you to seek out for more. So I say that at some point you are going to kind of start being seduced by the idea of letting life take you where you are supposed to go. I see you that at some point you are just going to be honest with yourself and release control over this negative energy and just trying to see them as stepping stones. It's like, oh, there's another one, you know. Here's another step on my personal stair. Okay, here another little stone that I can use to build my wall. I have expect a surprise, and I anticipated that. It's this wish fulfillment that you have as you learn the value of protecting yourself, of kind of obeying to the flow of life, even when it's not directly in your favor. You can still see it as in your favor because it's redirecting your attention, and you are going to start noticing, oh, each and every time where I do that, instead of like trying to be, oh, but you don't know, in my past I had this and this and that, so you should do this and this and that to me, and only to realize that the other person doesn't give a fuck. Okay, no, you're going to give yourself the validation. No, I've been through that before. Okay, I might have to fix this. Wait. Okay, sorry, I was having a slightly witchy moment. Expect a surprise. Yeah, you are going to see that when you give yourself the validation. No, I've been through this before. I know what this is about. I know that this is dangerous. So I am going to tackle this as a dangerous thing. I am going to test it. I am not going to automatically give in to the requests. You're going to learn how to take your own precautions and avoid things if you have to, even if from the outside it would look like honorable or fancy fancy or worth pursuing. Sorry, I think this is a dog here. I have worked hard for this. It is worthy. And as I was saying, you are going to see that you get rewarded. It might not be exactly the type of rewards that you were looking for once you enter the situations, but you always get rewarded as you reject to play the game, as you refuse to play the game, as you reject the rules of the game, the sick rules of the game, as you reject any rule that you see that is meant to destroy you. Okay? And yeah, no, things just like work like that. No, they don't. Okay? They do if you have a sick brain and you have no respect for other human beings, for other people's time, energy, and you simply have no awareness of the fact that just because you have a strong opinion about stuff, there's also the law. There's also the whole world. There's also reality. There's also criteria that doesn't have the need to be destructive to assert power. There's also true power out there, not whatever it is that you're flaunting. Not just insecure acts of destruction because it's not me, it had to be me. Come on now. You know? I do see kind of growing growing some sort of disdain towards this type of energy is also going to help you. As you start seeing just how toxic it is, you're going to fight less and less to be let in. Like, am I going to fight to be given a seat at a restaurant where they don't even serve food? Maybe not. Okay? Like, before you want to fight to have a seat at a table, you're going to start really looking closely at what is being served. Is this actual food or is this poison? Are the rewards clearly communicated, or they're just hinted in the air to create void fights? How's the community handled? How's the communication managed? You're going to start asking questions more. You're going to start doing it with confidence. You're going to start realizing that the more you learn about obeying certain type of ethical rules, the more you can also align with people, places, and situations that obey just as much. Not to you, not to some sick fuck, but to common sense, to respect, reciprocal respect, to the knowledge of we're adults, we all have responsibilities. You're not a more adulterer, a better adult than me, just because you know how to be more annoying about it. Some people are actually good at handling their shit, and you are going to learn that. Just because you didn't have a lot of positive experiences around that when you were young, the world is vast. Yes, it can be chaotic. Yes, there is still the possibility of still encountering some sick fishes in the sea who absolutely want to convince everyone that just floating with your belly upside down is the best option for a fish. But there's also quite a lot of other stuff, and it's kind of when you go to the store, if you want to use a non-adverse example, not everything fits your needs. You have to do some sort of screening, you have to do some sort of selection, and you have to do the same even when it comes to important stuff. Even when it comes to necessary stuff. You have to make sure that the way your needs are met is actually in accordance with your needs. One of the worst types of hell is the type that you cannot even see. The type that nourishes you just as much, but it can also close over your head just like that. Okay, so you are going to link very strictly, okay, the notion of boundaries with the notion of peace. Unfortunately, not everyone knows about boundaries, therefore not everyone is supposed to be a part of your peace. Not everyone will be willing to respect your boundaries, therefore they are not supposed to get not even a piece of you. Not the same, but it goes more or less in the same direction. Okay, and you are basically going to come to a point where also your need for validation is going to change. Okay, you are going to start being able to validate yourself from within. Okay, it's no longer going to be about, I'm going to compete against XYZ thing, and then prove, and then gain, and then have, and then reach, and then boom, and then bang. As long as you can sit down and be okay with how you deal with your day, just like Jack Sparrow more or less said, let the bitches shred themselves to pieces, okay? But like far away. You let them do their thing, and far away. You don't need to convince them, you don't need to convert them, you don't need to bring them in, you don't have to prove yourself to go inside of that, because fuck that. And self-defense charms, so that I can close this reading. I swallowed my own saliva. I'm not sick or anything, I'm just having some intense days. Something is going to happen in 10 days from the moment where you see this video. I don't know what's gonna move. I want to change that. It's love and sex and magic. What can I say about this? Okay. For a very specific, what happened here? For a very specific amount of you, you're going to have some spectacular intercourse in 10 days. Interesting. For the rest of you, I guess that these talks about your capacity to create magic on your own. So you are not dependent on external context that can also be toxic. Okay, like you don't need to remain within toxic environments just so that your spark can remain sparkly. Okay, like you become self-sufficient in terms of your creation, in terms of your progress, in terms of your sacral chakra productivity. It's like it's about you also learning what your emotional and creative health needs in terms of daily rhythm, in terms of daily rituals, and sticking to that, whatever happens to your life. Like, I need to have this frequency of, I don't know, who's watching this type of videos, the thing that I'm hearing right now. Okay. Okay. It was funny. It was funny. It is the word funny that starts sounding. Some of you just need to more. Okay, I don't know how else to explain that. Go take away the spider webs. But yeah, if it's not directly that, this can really just talk about your sacral chakra and and okay. I don't know why there's like have more fun. You know when they say, okay, I don't know why this is important in this reading. This is kind of driving me off topic. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna let go. Your sacral chakra needs rituals, needs things that you go and do during your day. And it's like learning how to keep yourself in the mood. Okay, I'm being called to see like ask for help, so you might have to bring in something or someone else in order to complete your balanced lifestyle. But there's a need for protection, basically. You're going to learn how to do that regardless of what's being offered to you. Okay, some of you have been doing. I get what this is. This is not going to resonate for everyone, but some of you have been doing a bit too much casual sex, okay? And it's probably due to the fact that you need to be in that type of energy as often as possible, okay? This is kind of how you manage to either be properly emotional, but you need to find a way where you can bring that energy into your life and it's safer, because I see that there's quite a lot of toxicity that has been brought into your life as well with that. Okay, like the fact that the people that you were with were available to you didn't mean that they were actually safe for you. This is what I'm trying to tell you. um, could be like physical hygiene, because I do see quite a lot of water here and at least two beings in the water. So this can talk about you cleansing your physical juices, but it can it can talk about or also like lack of energetic cleanliness. So these people might have had not the best intentions or not the best perception of you. Okay, they were disruptive in their demeanor, and perhaps you were okay with that because there was not a real connection. But at the same time, whether you want it or not, it stays with you, it sticks with you, and it comes off. So I said what I said. Take whatever it is that you need to take. And I'm going to take off because I need to go. Thank you for tuning in. I'm just gonna be a little fish right now. And yeah, see you soon. Leave a comment down below if you feel called to. You can help other people too.